Hey, you ever been to Chancellor Park? That's where I live. My name is Tavin Dillard, and I live in a trailer park called Chancellor Park, and I mow lawns. I'd like to introduce you to my town. I've been making YouTube's videos since about 2006, and then I've transitioned over to other platforms like the TikToks and the whatnot. But here on this podcast, I'd like to clue you into what's going on with me here lately. And this is like the pre-introduction. Now I'm going to send it off to myself for the real introduction. I'm glad you joined me. Bink, bink.
Welcome to the Tavin Dillard Podcast, y'all guys. This is Season 4's Episode 9. How in the world are you? Me? I'm pretty good. It's been another busy week in town, as you might have guessed. Appreciate y'all rating this podcast on the Apple iTunes or wherever you listen to. I don't think all platforms, they let you rate it and give it a little rating or whatever, leave a little comment, but I know the iTunes do, and that helps me. I use that to promote, because folks hear me say, hey, you want to listen to my podcast? They're like, sure, you want me to listen to your podcast. It's your podcast. But when y'all say, hey, no, go listen to that podcast, it go a long way. So I appreciate them comments. Y'all been leaving. And again, it's been a busy week. There's been a lot going on. And we just had, I'll get to that in a minute, what we just had. But last week, there was a donut party down at Donut Goes in town. That's the donut shop in town. Cheryl and Shane Grubbs, they bought, and they've been reworking it, but they've been leaving a lot of stuff the same. That standard glaze twist is a standard glaze twist. It's a standard glaze. It's a twist. It's glaze, but first, before you glaze it, it's just a standard twist. You like a donut, but its twist is longer, and then you glaze it. Then that happens after you make the donut. But they didn't mess with that recipe. They didn't need to. It's a beautiful thing. But anyways, so if you didn't have a chance to listen to last week's about the donut goals and the donut party, I'd say go back and listen there, and we'll be here waiting on you. Lots going on. I mentioned probably a month ago, so I'm on Patreon. That's just a way if you want to pitch in to help Chancellor Park grow. I'll leave a link in the show notes for that. It's just, I have some exclusive stuff. Last week got away from me. I didn't post. I've been doing some stuff on there every week, but I should be getting back at it this week anyhow. So a lot's going on. We had a fishing tournament in town this week. Oh yeah, it's true. We sure did. We had another softball game. Team Burger Shed. We was 9, 3, and 2s heading into this week's game. I got an update on that shortly too, how we did. Did we win? Did we lose? Did we tie? Did they cancel the game? Did the other team forfeit? Well, you're going to find out. I guess I should first back up to the preparation that goes into getting ready for a fishing tournament. It ain't easy. Now, me, I'm a no-pro fisherman, so I bring the snacks. And you better know that's on my mind before a day on the water. Y'all know I caught my first bass here recently. It is a video on the interwebs, on the TikToks, on the YouTubes, on the Instagrams, where you can see me pulling a bass out of the water that I caught on a pole that I cast out there in the water. Well, I didn't cast the pole out there. I held on to the pole, but I cast the bait out there on the line kind of thing. And I reeled in a bass. And I was trying to figure out from my buddy Cliff Pace, who I was fishing with, what you do once you catch a fish, because that didn't happen before for me. And he said you just toss it back in the water. Like you ain't supposed to name it or nothing like that. But I don't know. Anyhow, you could see that video on the interwebs. And you may be saying, where do you go for your snacks, Tavin? Well, for this tournament, I had 3 stops for snacks. To kind of it's just standard snacks, and it's just how it turned out. Rickard's grocery store has what I call just the basics. Groceries like a white bread, pimento cheese, bags for the snacks, chips, specifically Funyuns, hot fries, pork rinds, barbecue flavor. Now, I don't know. It's not like I always do this. But a little something I did different this time. I stopped by Donut Goes, and I got a standard glazed twist. That's that glazed twist. This twist is just standard. It's a standard glazed twist. I was just feeling it, the day of the tournament. And to be clear, I usually do like the old peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I really do, but I was feeling the pimento cheese this time around, and I doubled up on that. It's a big, thick sandwich. It's so good. I brought a bag of Tavin's bacon bag. great to take fishing. Check out the link in my show notes today for that one, and you can get yourself 1 or 3 or whatever. That's a good gift, and it's good to eat yourself. Yeah, it's one of those things where, boy, it's good eating. You want a bag for yourself. It's good to share, but it's hard to share your bag kind of thing. So anyways, you see that link there in the show notes today too. And that left me with one last stop, which was the bait and tackle snack section that Rance Farnhart runs out of the bait and tackle shop. I got some sunflower seeds, water, and Mountain Dew. So now I'm ready to go. One thing about my fishing gear is that I don't have any yet, so Rance loaned me some stuff, and Donnie Wayne Chambliss, he let me use his boat that he has right there on the property next to the repair shed where he works. He wasn't going to fish the tournament anyhow. So if you ain't familiar with my town, there's the lake. Rance Farnhart runs the bait and tackle that's on the lake. They got snacks inside. They got a patio there, and they do a little restaurant there, fish and chips kind of thing. He also cut hair on that patio. That's where I get my hair cut. Rance do that. And so there's a lot going on there. And then the repair shed, it's about 100 yards from the bait and tackle, and that's where Donnie Wayne work. And anyhow, he's let me use the boat. So I was happy with my buddies that helped me out. You know, you probably wonder why I ain't got fishing gear yet or stuff like that. Well, firstly, you may know I do have a boat, but I can't get it to the water. And B, Cricket's granddaddy really liked it and asked to borrow it, so I ain't even got it right now. I don't know when I'm going to get back. It's one of them borrows where you're thinking, well, it's just a loan, but maybe it's more than a loan, and I ain't asked about it, so that's how that go. Everything else is priority. Like, I need a truck. So I'm working on that, and I ain't got extra folding money to spend on a rod and reel right now, so that's how that work. I just am where I am. But if I win this tournament, or even get in the top 3, I have a little bit of jingle to be able to buy some of my own gear and take an extra trip to the burger shed this week's how that go. So it's tournament time. I've been learning a lot, but now it's time to put it into practice. That's what I'm doing. I have been out on the water again and again and again and again, but now it's time to show my skills in the town tournament. So I got the snacks. Here recently, Cricket got me a little ice chest so I can keep the cold stuff cold, but I just put everything in there so I ain't got to carry any stuff, but just the ice chest and hold on to that handle, and I got some stuff out of the ice chest, but I keep it, anyway, it's just one handle, I'm good to go. So whether it's supposed to be an ice chest to keep cold, or it's just it just all go in there like a carrying case. There's always the snack helmet, for the watermelon snack helmet, but when you ain't got it, you need a way to carry them snacks and keep them drinks cold. And for me, today, keep that pimento cheese sandwich cold too when it's time to eat. So I feel like I was ready with the snacks. And to me, that's 90% of the battle. And the rest is just fishing. It's an early start, but not too bad. Lines in at 7 a.m., break for lunch, then one more round. That's 2 rounds total. That's how that worked. That's how the math go at this fishing tournament in town. Well, everybody's fishing the lake all at once. There's 14 entries, actually 15, 16 entries total. So there's 16, which a smaller turnout, even with 16. I don't know why, don't get me wrong, 16 is a goodly amount, especially for the size of the lake, but I'm wondering if the prizes didn't lure folks in, so to speak. Here's what they was. First prize, you ready for this, is $200. Like, that's just money. Money. And a gift card to Guthrie's Hunting Supply. I think it's like $30, gift certificate, gift card kind of thing. Second place was $100. That's money, just the cash money. And a gift certificate to the Bait and Tackle, where Rance Farnhart, where he runs, where he works, for $20. So that's second place. And thirdly place was $50 cash money and a certificate that says you third place. 2 other folks was better than you. And I was all about it. So that's the only folks getting anything. Out of the 16 people, 3 was going to win, and 13 just wasn't going to come home with nothing but a good day, you hope. I was all about it anyhow. Gilbert Phillips, he was there. He's a mess. Cody Mantell was there. He can be a handful too. J.T. Whitlow's girlfriend, Whitney, she wanted to sing the national anthem, but they told her no. They just played it over a speaker. Whitney loves that attention. She's bringing air horns to the softball games. J.T. finally found her air horns, and he hid them from her. So there's all kind of folks at fishing today in the tournament. I mean, it's only 16, and I was one of them, so I can just list them off for you. Jerry Don and Sybil Farnhart, that's 2 more, so that leaves 13 folks left. You know, they entered separately, so they had to be in separate boats because even though they married, they in competition for the fishing tournament. And then let's see who else was there. I already said there's Myron Curtis, he was there, and I told you Cody Mantell was there. Then Ricky Don Pearson, Mary Beth Tucker, She's dating Myron. Russell Tucker, that's Mary Beth's older brother, a friend of mine. Chet Dilroy's in it. Misty Fizdale, she's a wild-eyed teenager, sharpshooter, hard worker, apparently aspiring to be a good fisherman, too. Kevin Rickert, Hank Thistle, that's a bad idea from the beginning. I'll get into that later. Neil McKinney, him and his wife Danita, they run that town-wide live nativities at Christmas times. J.T. Whitlow, Gilbert Phillips, his mom is Chlorine, and he beat up an adult bull moose as the story goes. And then Mort Dwight-L. So out of these, just like any local tournament, I guess, some folks is more experienced on the water than others. And I'm starting to consider myself, y'all guys, one of the more experienced these days than even years ago. You know about that? I've been fishing. So now, like anybody, I'm trying to put into practice what I've been learning. What better way to show the world than the local fishing tournament? Am I right? Thank you. So we've been doing some talking. Guys are joking about how they going to whoop everybody. Myron Curtis, he's the loudest of them all, and nobody believed Myron. Even Mary Beth Tucker's girlfriend wasn't on his side, because she in the tournament too anyway. So she's shaking him off like, not today, Myron. Well, it's time for lines in, and Hank Thistle lasts about 7 minutes in this fishing tournament. He got a lazy eye, looks like a marble on a ping pong paddle. He lives on the same street as Imogene and Raymond Watkins and Millie Ricks. His house is actually in between them other two houses. He got a burn pile going year round. Well, Hank got one pole he's bringing in his boat and a tackle box, but he gets hung up as he gets into the boat. I mean, Donnie Wayne Chambliss is helping folks by the water, and I don't know if he's volunteering or it's just because he's on the property anyway because he got that repair shed, but he's helping folks in. So Hank has hooked the back of his own fishing vest, and he just yanking that pole, steady yanking that pole, trying to make it come loose. And Donnie Wayne's kind of holding both hands out, creeping toward Hank, you know, like trying to help. And he said, hold on. And he getting closer to Hank. Well, Hank's determined. I mean, he ready to fish, and he ain't about to just, you know, stay there and let that hook be hooked on the back of his vest. So, I mean, he ain't quitting. I mean, you got to be determined if you keeping a burn pile going year round. And he keep yanking, and that hook come loose, and it fly up in the air. And then you know how gravity works. Once what goes up, they say, it must come down. And that thing's coming down at a pretty good clip toward Donnie Wayne in slow motion. And it's like you hear the music, only these ain't like Chariots of Fire music. It's more like that sound you hear when you get a wrong answer on a game show kind of thing. And that hook lands in Donnie Wayne's outstretched right hand. And Hank has caught Donnie Wayne now. And Donnie Wayne hollers, Hank, don't yank that thing, you got me. So here he is, you know, Hank know how to yank. I mean, I'm telling you, he's determined, and he's about to tug on that thing, but he got that hook lodged in the right hand of Donnie Wayne Chambliss. Well, hearing Hank's hearing, I guess, let me tell you this thing. Hearing is not something that Hank Thistle is good at. That ain't a strong point. And listening ain't neither. But that may just be because he can't hear so good. I don't know. Not because he's trying to be ornery, nothing like that. So Donnie Wayne can see that this ain't going to go well if he don't do nothing. So quick as anything. I mean, I ain't never seen Donnie Wayne move so quick. He pulled a knife out of a knife holster on his belt loop, and he cut that line so fast right as Hank Thistle yanked that line. Only thing is, when Hank yanked, the line is cut. Good news for Donnie Wayne. So with all the strength Hank could muster, he fell backways into that water, and Donnie Wayne pried that hook out so quick, he like a hook pit crew over there, just boom, bop. Let's get back on the road kind of thing. He put that knife back in that little side holster, and he run over there to Hank, who's fallen back in about 4 foot of water. Myron was nearby. He ran over to help, but Myron meant well, but for whatever reason, and this is embarrassing, but he wore Crocs. You know about them shoes, them Crocs, them little slip-on rubber shoes, whatever. He wore them to the fishing tournament, and them Crocs don't keep good contact with a muddy riverbank. I'll put it to you like that. So here's old Hank Thistle getting pulled out the water by Donnie Wayne Chambliss, who Hank just caught on his own line. Hank's fishing vest is soaked and dripping. Granola bar floated right out of that thing, too. Good on Hank for bringing snacks, but even in the wrapper, that bar ain't going to be the same now. It's got a different feel to it. It's like getting a car back from a repair shop after the front end got tore up from running into the gate at the city dump. The car seemed to run fine after that, but it just don't seem the same. That's that granola bar Hank got. Well, Donnie Wayne has got Hank on his feet, and Hank, instead of being thankful for the help, he ain't there yet. He just saying to Donnie Wayne, did you cut my line? Maybe Hank's just a focused fisherman. I don't know. I'd like to think that's what it is. Otherwise, he getting mad at Donnie Wayne Chambliss for cutting his fishing line after he just set a hook in Donnie Wayne's right hand. Well, put it to you this way. Hank was going to have a chance to be thankful again, because here come Myron, just in the nick of bad timing, and them crocs trying to steady grip that muddy riverbank, and then I think I heard one of them yell, "We ain't built for this. We watering the lawn or taking out the trash can kind of shoes, putting more water in a dog bowl kind of thing, but not this." Well, Myron figured out all this too late. Just so you know, because it may be helpful for you to really see what's going on here, Myron is one of them athletic shirts, almost like a swim shirt, long-sleeved, bright orange, fanny pack, who knows what's in it, lure, snacks, another pair of Crocs, I don't know. And he got some cargo shorts. You know them shorts with them extra pockets? I don't know if anything was in them either, I don't know, but his Crocs is camouflaged, but they easy to see because his ankles and legs, they ain't camouflaged. So here's Myron, big boy, bright orange shirt, cargo shorts, fanny packs, Crocs, barreling toward Donnie Wayne Chambliss, whose back is to Myron, and that's where Hank is, in this lake. And Myron Curtis, with the best intentions in the world, ain't got no brakes on them Crocs, and that muddy riverbank's basically a nitro booster, and he just shoot right into that river, smack into the back of Donnie Wayne Chambliss. Donnie Wayne a big boy too, so it wasn't like he was going to fly, but Myron had that momentum packed with them good intentions to helping Hank Thistle, out of that water. But what actually happened was that Hank Thistle ended up back in the lake, submerged, farther out from where he started, and good luck getting that granola bar now, Hank. I mean, it was a tornado of fanny pack, Crocs, cargo shorts, and Donnie Wayne Chambliss. Myron was the whatever you call it, I guess the catalyst. And then if it was an Oreo cookie, Myron is one of them sandwich sides. Donnie Wayne Chambliss is that cream in the middle, and then Hank Thistle's that other sandwich side. And boy, that came together in a soggy, wet lake water mess. Put it to you like that. Donnie Wayne ain't happy. He's kind of choking because he wasn't planning on getting knocked in the water, and he ain't ready to deal with Myron yet because he's trying to finish what he started with, which is fish Hank Thistle out of the lake. So good on Donnie Wayne for not giving up on Hank Thistle, because pretty sure he wasn't going to figure this out himself. Hank ain't the youngest speller, and he ain't so spry, although he is determined. I think we do know that. So Donnie Wayne, he pulled Hank out. Hank's still mad about Donnie Wayne cutting his line, but they both are wondering what in the world Myron was doing. So Donnie Wayne turned around and asked, "What in the world, Myron?" Myron's flailing around like a carp on a boat dock with his fanny pack, and it came loose, so he's trying to find that, and apparently he had his phone in there because he said, "My phone's in there." Well, Hank Thistle is done. He's 70 or more years old, and he exerted more energy in the last 5 minutes than he might have done all week long. I mean, it was a struggle, yanking that line and then trying to get out of the lake twice. Donnie Wayne's hooked hand was bleeding. Myron lost a Croc too, but it floated, so he got it back. Just like that, the field went from 16 to 15. Myron asked if he could go home and change, and they said sure, but the tournament's going to start anyway, so he just decided to fish wet. By that time, I tore it into that pimento cheese sandwich that I brought. I doubled up on the pimento cheese, a real thick sandwich. It was on white bread. It had been on my mind, and during all that commotion, it reminded me that the one sure thing on the water is them snacks. I did it right, too. Like I said, plenty of pimento cheese, soft white bread, and I cut it diagonal ways. You know how you got like two triangles like that away? That's what I did with that sandwich. Well, how'd the tournament go, Tabin? Well, I used a little drop shot, and I caught 2 fish on it. I caught a gar with a crankbait. I couldn't have told you that there was a gar still in that lake, but now I can. By the end, I caught enough to what would have been 7th place, but they only gave rewards to top 3, like I told you, earlier. And that was Sybil Farnhart. She know how to fish, y'all guys. Russell Tucker, 2nd place, and Mary Beth Tucker, 3rd place. Must run in the Tucker family. I don't know. And old Myron, he had to eat crow, as they say, when he didn't even place, and didn't nobody get off to a rougher start than Myron Curtis, except Hank Thistle, of course. I heard Hank went home, and he took a 4-hour nap, and then he stoked that burn pile with all that newfound energy, after that nap, like that away. Donnie Wayne, he ain't the kind of guy that uses Band-Aids, so he just let that right hand scab up. Running a repair shop like you do, them hands are kind of like gloves now anyhow. And we was all wore out by the time game rolled around this week. You know, the fishing tournament, you know, it's going on in town. It don't mean you cancel softball games. It ain't like the county fair. County fair, just about everything stopped. You know about that, you know, like we didn't have no games county fair week, but like a bye week, I guess you'd say, and a good thing too, because you heard about that one wheel accident out there. If you didn't, you can go listen to the county fair episode. And it wasn't me on the one wheel, I'll put it to you like that, but it is a circus nonetheless. Nonetheless. So anyhow, how did game go, Tavin? If Donnie Wayne Chambliss, who's on your team, got hooked in the right hand, and Myron Curtis, who's on your team, was losing a crock in the lake and running into people and all that kind of thing, like how in the world did it go? Well, yeah, a bunch of us was wore out, and I ain't making excuses, because in the end, we played pretty good. The only thing is, we was playing Tri-County Bank, and they put that ball in play hard. Now, it's one thing to go to a softball game, make contact with the ball, because it's a softball, and it ain't really that it's called a softball that make it easy to hit. It's a little bigger than a baseball, you know about that, but they ain't throwing that thing fast. They ain't going, 99 mile an hour or something like in Major League Baseball players. I mean, it's coming in, at a high arc, slow and steady kind of thing. So it ain't about can you make contact. But I'm telling you right now, y'all guys, this ain't no excuse. I'm just telling you the facts. Tri-County Bank, they make contact, but they make hard contact. I mean, they whistle that ball out to the outfield. They whistle it through the infield. They hit some dingers. I mean, they's wearing us out, and we showed up wore out already. That's all I'm saying. So they're making real hard contact all night long. I mean, just peppering every part of the field like it's a bowl of soup. Pepper everywhere. And well, I'll tell you this, y'all guys. I stole 2 bases. Not a big deal, but it kind of felt like a big deal because we needed every base we could get tonight. I got 1 hit. I popped out 3 other times when I was batting. Once to the outfield, twice to the infield. And by the end of the game, when we get to the last inning and you like counting up the scores and you counting how many times your team touched home plate rounding them bases and then how much Tri-County Bank touched that place, that base rounding them bases at home plate. Well, Tri-County Bank touched home plate 16 times. That's a big score, Tavin. Don't I know it? Don't I know it? Bud's Burger Shed, Team Burger Shed, it's the same thing, that's our team. We touched the base 13 times. Now, if you know anything about basic remedial numbers, 16 more than 13. So they got free snow cones tonight. That's basically what that come down to. Tri-County Bank got free snow cones tonight. I guess the best thing I can say about the softball fields is that there was snow cones to give out tonight. And there was all the flavors you could ever want. Like, it was a quiet night at the softball. I think Mary Beth Tucker was wore out too. She placed in that fishing tournament, so she didn't have no bright ideas on how to mess up the concession stand tonight. So that might be the secret. Have Mary Beth go fishing the day of softball games. So when she get down to the softball field concession stand, she ain't trying to bring chili dogs, bacon wrap hot dogs, crock pots of chili, pasta bowls, decorate your own cupcakes, ice cream sundae bars, everything she done, as s'mores. Well, that's a story for another day, but she burned down the last concession stand bringing a propane tank, trying to do s'mores in there. So I'll tell you that, glass half full kind of thing is an uneventful night at the concession stand for once. Did Bud's Burger Shed win? No, we lost. Now, what's that make us? Well, now we 9-4-2 on the season. That's 9 wins. Now, 4 times we got beat, and 2 times we tied. Playoffs start in 2 weeks. And I'll know for sure next week, but I'm hoping we in there. Feels like we should be, but stay tuned for all that. And hey, if you winning because you got exercise, well, I guess we winning then. Don't let anybody tell you fishing ain't exercising. No, just ask Hank Thistle. That fella burned some calories in 4 feet of water out there this week. Lots going on, y'all guys, at Chancellor Park. And like I said, check the link in the show notes for, how you can pitch in on Patreon. I mentioned that earlier. You're going to see Tavin's bag of bacon first up there. Them are moving, and if you ain't had some, you got to try it. I can't explain it to you. You might say, Tavin, you explain a lot of things. I'm telling you, it's good. I had more this week myself, but there's still bags left. I ain't ate every bag they have. Bacon Boise that's putting them out. You see my face right there on the bag. and right where you tear it open, it says bank. I mean, and then once you get inside that bag, there's bacon. So I'm saying win all over the place. Check the show notes for that today, y'all guys. And what else we got going? I mean, you'll see the shirts. I'll leave a link for the shirts. The No Pro shirt, No Pro hat. Oh, the new watermelon helmet shirt's moving. Folks is getting a hold of that. The share it and wear it's what it say on there, because that's what you do with the watermelon. You share the watermelon and you wear the helmet. And then of course we got the Early Bird Gets the Perm shirt going on, and a couple new ones heading toward Christmas coming out soon, but not quite yet. My snacks did hold up, though, for that fishing tournament, too. I just want to say that because as a no-pro fisherman and I bring the snacks, I don't want people to think, does he not even know how to bring the snacks? Oh, no, don't you worry. I didn't run out. But by the end of the day, I made sure they got 8. So that's how that went. I'm a no-pro. I bring the snacks. And I guess Sybil Farnhart's got some shopping to do down at Guthrie's Hunting Supply. So that's how that went. Listen, I better get out of here, y'all guys. Please share this podcast with folks and leave me a rating and leave me a comment if you can this week. And hey, if you ain't shot into the lake right into the back of Donnie Wayne Chambliss in an orange swim shirt, cargo shorts, and a pair of Crocs with a fanny pack, getting your phone all wet, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tavin Dillard. This is the Tavin Dillard Podcast. Thanks for joining me this week on the podcast. Until next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.